Good
While I am
afternoon.
So I
I am
getting my
I do
Shanita.
screen in
my
place, um, Andrew, he's just gonna do the Schedule C because I put the link for the other one. So if you just pull up the PowerPoint.
mm,
All right, everyone. Sorry about the technical difficulties that we were having. We're gonna start today, and today talks about income taxes, payroll taxes, sale taxes, registering with the Illinois authorities, avoiding common tax pitfalls, and a Q&A. Next slide, please. Income taxes, everyone's favorite subject. Income taxes. We have our federal and state income taxes. We're going to talk about business entity types and tax implications, estimating and paying quarterly taxes, deductions, and record keeping. So we just talked about estimating taxes. I'm not going to put LaDonna on the spot today, but she asks me about this all the time. The estimated tax due dates. You have your first quarter, which runs from January 1st through March 31st, which is due on April 15th. The second quarter is April 1st to May 31st, due on June 15th. Then you have your third quarter which is June 1st to August 31st, due on September 15th. Fourth quarter is September 1st to December 31st, which is due on January 15th of the next year. So I always do it when people ask me, I go January, February, March. That's how I do my quarters. I have to do them on my fingers so that I could tell people the right dates. Any questions about these estimated tax due dates? Okay, let's go on to the next slide. Payroll taxes. When we haven't talked about it, but I think we'll get into it later. We have the 1099 versus the employee. Even though you have employees, the employer also have responsibilities of payroll taxes. And there are certain forms that are required that you have to fill out, and you should register to pay your payroll taxes and meet all of the filing deadlines, or you will get penalties. When we say register for your payroll taxes, you as the employer, yeah, or you are the, how can I say it, the middleman for the IRS. So you actually get the people their paychecks, and when you take money out of their paychecks, like their federal taxes, their Social Security, and their Medicare, you're supposed to hold that money and file what's called a 941 form and send in the taxes to the IRS. So again, you need to make sure that you are versed on all of the different forms. You have the 941s, the 940s, and you have to make sure that those payroll taxes are paid on a timely basis. Next slide, please. And here are the ones that I just talked about, the required payroll tax forms. You have the IRS and the state 941s. So you have to do a 941 form for the federal, and you also have to do one for the state. And then on an annual basis, you have to do what's called the W-2s. Everybody looks for those W-2s so they can file their income taxes. A W-3 is it's like a summary of all of the money that you spent for the W-2s and how many employees you have. And then the 940 deals with unemployment. which is the next one, which is the UI 3-4. That is the Illinois unemployment report that you have to also file on a timely basis. Next slide. Sales tax. Who must collect sales tax? Well, sales tax, if you are doing a product, you normally have to collect the sales tax. Again, you are the middleman for the state, if you're collecting for the state, or if you're collecting for some local taxes, you are the middleman. You have to make sure that once you collect the taxes, that tax is passed on to the appropriate agency. Registering for sales tax, again, in Illinois, we have what's called My Tax Illinois, and I think I have the next slide will show a picture of that. And on that system, you go in and once you register your business, they will give you a sales tax account, a Illinois withholding account, and an unemployment holding account. And then again, you have to make sure that you're filing your sales tax returns in a timely manner. Next slide. So in Illinois, the sales tax forms are called Schedule ST1 and ST2. Sometimes they'll set based on your sales, they'll set your due date on a monthly, quarterly, or annual basis. And that's, again, based on the volume of your sales. Next slide. Registering with the Illinois authorities. And I'm saying Illinois because this webinar series is called Ignite Illinois. So just like we have here the My Tax Illinois, they have a My Tax Missouri. So the Illinois Reg 1 is the form that you have to fill out to actually register to do business in the state of Illinois. And then once that form is filled out, you will get a My Tax Illinois account. And with this it's very important that you keep accurate records, and you can work with a tax professional that can help you with all of the information that you have to do with the Illinois authorities. Next slide. Again, here is the My Tax Illinois website. And again, Missouri has one, it looks a little different, but it's called My Tax Missouri if we have people on here from Missouri. Next slide. Some common tax pitfalls. There's frequent errors and tips for compliance. You need to make sure that you are keeping accurate records for your taxes. We're going to go through a tax form at the end so we can actually see some of the deductions that you can have for your small business. Next slide. So the recap of what we've talked about today: taxes are very important. You don't want to get in what I call the IRS or the state rabbit hole. You can get out of it, but it can be real costly. Any questions about taxes? The tax schedule. Okay. So Nate, if you can bring up the Schedule C.
Coming right up. Documents. Schedule C. And documents. There we go. Let me pull that up. Just had it. There we go. Schedule C. Share. Schedule C. Should be able to see that now.
Yep. So I'm go off base a little bit here. Can everyone in the chat tell me what kind of structure their company is? Are we a LLC? Are we a sole proprietor? C Corp, S Corp?
I'm a sole proprietor at the moment. I am going to be moving into a LLC. I'm Ann's client, the one who gives her all the problems. And I'm thankful for you guys, okay? Just had to throw that in, but
Okay, so Katie says she's a single member LLC. Okay, so Katie, you complete the Schedule C because of the way you're organized, correct? Okay, so does this form look familiar to you?
It does.
Okay, so a Schedule C is, or you'll hear people say P&L, where's your profit and loss from your business? This is what you can present to the bank when they ask you for your P&L or your tax document. In the first part of it, the ABCs, you actually complete your name, then the name of the business, the principal business or profession. And then also with this Schedule C, there's a code book that you kind of NAIC code. It tells the kind of industry. I guess they use this for market research and stuff like that. And you can get as close as you can to your business that best describes your business. D is the most important thing because if you are set up, you should have an EIN. Instead of using your social security number, your EIN is your business social security number. So if you're a sole proprietor, a contractor, and you're doing some work for someone, you can use your EIN instead of giving people your social security number. F talks about the different accounting methods, and Shalita will be coming on talking about that. G asks if you're materially participate in the operation of the business. They want to make sure that you are participating and having a say so in your business. And again, I think they collect some of this data for research purposes and to report out like how many businesses were started in a year, because it'll ask this same question for the next tax season. I is the one where it asks about you making your required payments for a 1099. If people do contractual work for you, contract labor, you need to provide them with a 1099. And then again, on J, it asks, if yes, did you file your required 1099s? Did you file them on time? So part one just talks about all of your income, your gross receipts or sales, if you had returns and allowances. That's basically when people have a retail business or something and they have returns and stuff like that. 4 talks about, it's on the back form where you do your cost of goods sold. Again, if you have inventory, it asks about beginning and ending inventory. If you made any purchases. So then once you complete that, line 5 will tell you what your gross profit is. if you don't do retail business, you can just, your gross receipts will be your gross profit. And then 6 is if you have any other income. On there you can see fuel tax credits and stuff like that. So line 7 will be your gross income after your cost of goods sold and other income that you have. Part two is all of the different expenses that you could have for your business. So I'm not going to go by each one of those because I'll show you something on the link that I'll also provided. But advertising, everybody know about advertising. Let's see. 11, that's that contract labor. That contract labor should match all of the 1099s that you have given people that have done work for you on a contractual basis. Depreciation is a big one, especially Section 179. They changed some of the rules for Section 179. Insurance, don't forget insurance. Legal and professional fees. Even though you may have an accounting, you might have someone doing your accounting, you can see that's an expense, office expense. You may buy pens and pencils or paper for your office. That all of that is office expense. Again, taxes and license, travel, wages. So your payroll expenses, the wages that you pay your employees, they are what's called that's an expense also. Anybody have any questions about any of the expenses that are on here? Okay, on this front page, the most important one down there is line number 30. A lot of people ask about the business use of their home. And I should have brought that form up, but there's another form that you have to attach with your Schedule C called the 8829. The business use of the home, if you're going to use that, you will have to know the full square footage of your home and the full square footage of the room that you use exclusively for your business. There are some exceptions where you can use your whole house. Some people have in-home daycares. So on that form, it takes in account for people that use their homes for daycares. So after you do your total expenses, if you have expense for a business use of the home, line 31 is what's called your net profit or loss. Okay? Any questions about Schedule C? Everybody is ready to complete their own Schedule C? So let's go to the publication 334. Nate, did I send you that?
But you
Okay.
can. I'll take it.
Okay.
Or I
It's
can look
in the
it up.
chat. Can you get it out the chat?
On chat. Yeah.
Yeah.
We got this. Chat 334. Oh, I don't see it in the chat, buddy.
Oh,
You want me to pull up the pub?
yeah. There it is. Sorry.
I can just pull up 334. Yeah. All right. PDF.
I couldn't find a PDF.
Oh, okay. Print version. I got you.
Okay.
Let me share that screen. PB. There we go. Coming right up.
Okay. So they used to print this stuff, but you know
Oh.
now the IRS, they they have stopped printing a lot of stuff, and you used to could order it. I'm not even sure if you could still order it yet. They're trying to go to making you use the PDFs and everything.
Mm-hmm.
This could be the Bible for your business. So this is all of the things that you can deduct. It gives you future developments, like what's coming ahead and all of that. So one of the things, see, in there it has what's new for 2025. You can almost kind of know some of the new tax deductions or credits that'll be coming up in future years. Can we go down to the expense part, Nate?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you want, let's see, you want me to keep going? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to get to travel because a lot of
Travel.
people talk about travel.
Yeah. Let's get there. Travel 39. Okay.
Yeah. So a lot of people say, can I deduct my trip to see my son in college? Or if I go to a workshop, here's how you can explain
Mm-hmm.
what can be done and what cannot be done. Um, Travel, these are the ordinary and necessary expenses of traveling away from home for your business. You are traveling away from home if both of the following conditions are met. Your duties require you to be away from the general area of your tax home substantially longer than an ordinary day's work. You need to sleep or rest to meet the demands of your work while away from home. Okay? And in there, it also tells you some of the things that you can deduct while you are traveling. Transportation. If you travel by airplane, train, bus, or car between your home and business destination. Taxis or commuter bus, limousines, well, we do Uber and Lyft now, so those charges are something that could help. Baggage and shipping, the cost of sending, you can deduct the cost of sending baggage and samples or display material from there. So if you're going to a conference and you're going to have a booth set up and you have to ship some of your materials there, that type of stuff can be deducted. Like I think Katie, you're doing the book. So if you go to a conference where you're going to be selling your book and you have to ship everything, that's an expense for you. So meals and lodging. Again, meals and lodging, if your business trip is overnight or long enough that you need to stop for sleep, you can do actual expenses of the standard meal allowance. Cleaning, you can dry clean, you can do dry cleaning for your clothing or laundry if you're away from a business trip. You spill something on your suit and you need to get that clean right away. That's something that could be deducted. Um, Travel, I know travel is a big one that people ask about, so I know I wanted to cover that one. Is there anything that people have question about, that you may have questions about that we can find out if it's in here? Yeah, bank fees,
Mm.
utilities. If you rent a space, you can do your utilities, your rent.
I like this one.
Yes. Things that you cannot deduct.
A lot of people think dues to social clubs or athletic clubs, that's a big one. They want to say, well, what if I've got this membership? Well, if it's a social club, things like that, you cannot deduct it. But if it's a due to, say, for example, you've got a Dropbox account or you've got an account with Slack or any of the Zoom account, right? Those are deductible if they're used for business.
The bribes and
Penalties too.
kickbacks.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And this is a big one here: personal living expenses, commingling of funds.
Yes.
Yeah. Using your business account to pay your personal bills. We don't like that. The IRS doesn't like that either.
That last one, it talks about settlements or payments related to sexual harassment or sexual abuse. Nope, that's a no-no.
Mm-hmm.
So if we go flip back over to the Schedule C, Nate, anything that you are questioning on your Schedule C, you can use that publication 334 that will give you an answer to all of those questions, like that in part 2 there. Any questions? This is time for Q&A. Well, I guess we have none.
You did such a good job.
Right. Andrew or Cameron, do you all have anything?
Rika. So at what point do they have to start reporting their income? So let's say they're a startup business and they're sole proprietor, they don't have any employees. At what dollar amount would they have to start tracking it?
$1.
$1?
$1.
Very good.
So yeah, a lot of people say, well, I started a business in November and I only made $500. The IRS want to know about that $500.
Okay.
Yes.
Very good to know because my wife has just launched her accounting business, so she already has clients, so it's on her. Make sure she knows her taxes.
And then you basically recommend that they start getting someone like yourself, a tax professional, at $1 to help them get on track?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And actually, the correct way would be to get someone like us involved from the beginning, because we need to know what structure you're gonna be. Because when people come to me and I'll be like, okay, they'll say I'm a LLC, and I'll be like, are you a single member? You're an S corp? I don't know. Such and such did my paperwork.
Yeah.
So that tells us which tax forms we need to file. And
Okay.
then when they apply for the EIN, it tells them in the EIN notification letter, it's a 575, that we're looking for this tax return by this due date.
Okay.
So they will, it's kind of, if you can get someone that's going to prepare the taxes in on the beginning stages, then that would kind of help you a whole lot.
Okay. And so y'all help them create their budget and help them get their profit and loss statement so they understand it and know where to go from there?
Well, the profit, if you do bookkeeping with us,
Yeah.
that's one of the reports that comes out, is the profit
Okay.
and loss statement. And on a monthly basis, the ideal relationship would be, we will meet on a monthly basis and we will say, okay, this is all the income that came in. This is what you spent stuff on. This is your profit and loss for this month.
Okay, good.
So they'll know. And when I talked about the estimated taxes, by doing that, you can kind of do an estimation of what's my tax liability going to be. Let me pay some estimated taxes.
Okay. So bookkeeping and tax professional are first after you decide you're going to start your own business.
Yes, they should think about that.
Okay.
Yes. Times are gone by the wayside of people bringing paper receipts into the office. We don't like that.
Well, no. No, I
Yeah, we
used to
have
work in
it.
insurance and people would bring in bags of
Mhm.
receipts and it would be like, oh, goodness gracious. Yeah. So I can understand that that's not, they may have it, but they need to break them down by month or by week so that when they meet with you, you at least know what you're doing, not just a garbage bag full of receipts.
That's true too, but also we have to still kind of categorize
Right.
everything. So that's like a $275 an hour task.
Mm.
That's how people
They have
charge
learned how to
now.
create a spreadsheet and bring you the
Yep.
spreadsheet.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's best to kind of get that bookkeeping in line in the beginning.
Yeah.
I have a question actually. What would you tell someone who like does under the table or favors?
Nate, did you hear that? I didn't hear that.
I'm sorry,
I'm not saying I
my
would do that.
microphone was off, and it just happens from
Yeah.
time to time, and I missed that. That's usually the
It
response you're gonna
qualifies
get.
as no bribes are taken. They're
Yeah,
allowed
yes,
to be
that's usually the
deducted.
response
No,
you get.
what I'm saying is like, somebody who I guess say Joe over here is saying or is doing somebody a favor or like giving them something or and oh hey, you don't have to buy this or you
Like a
bought
barter
it
kind of situation.
kind of, but they still
Yeah.
pay for it, but they don't
They don't report the
necessarily.
income.
Yeah.
That's called tax fraud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Falls under the no bribe, no,
Just tax fraud. Yeah, I usually just tell people that right off the bat. So that's called tax fraud.
yeah.
Yeah. So if you want to commit tax fraud, we just don't do that kind of work. That's all I tell people.
Sure.
Yeah, because I always tell people, look, I don't look good in an orange jumpsuit. You don't either. So I don't know.
Orange is not my favorite color.
I like it on my cars, but not on my back. No, but that's a very common question, Andrew, and it's true. Like, okay, what do you do? And the way we just always point back to the case law and say, here's what the law says. Here's what your requirements are. Even a barter, like when a lot of people don't realize with bartering, a barter exchange is actually taxable income. So you have to report that barter as income. You can't just say, well, I'm going to trade services and not claim the income. You have to claim the income on both sides.
Now, have they changed the rules about accepting a dollar amount for cash? If you write a check, it obviously the person has to report that income.
Are you talking about
But
the
if you
banks?
pay them in cash,
Your income is reportable regardless of the method of transfer.
Right.
The banks just have certain FinCEN levels where they're required to report it back to the to FinCEN. Yeah.
And they just said a good thing about FinCEN. At one time, I think it was the beginning of 24 or 25, they were trying to make everybody register their business with
BOI.
BOI
Mhm.
reporting.
Beneficial
Yes.
owners information.
Yes.
That's gone now.
because I guess a lot of people were receiving cash payments and not reporting them.
Well, it was an undue burden on business owners. The goal for the beneficial owners insurance reporting was so that most often, offshore illegal operations would start to report their income. So it's kind of a joke because they put all this pressure and undue influence on law-abiding business owners. Do you really think that the ones who are already doing illegal things are going to start complying at this point because they're told to? So it was.
Yeah.
I'm glad it was repealed.
Is there any advice you would give to our new or any new businesses out there who are looking to stay on straight and narrow with their taxes.
Get you a bookkeeper, an accountant, someone that will be your
Mhm.
accountability partner.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's gonna get rough where you don't have the money to do this, you don't have the money to do that, especially on those payroll taxes, because like I say, you are the middleman, and the IRS will get you if you do not comply.
Right. Yeah, so, yeah, no. So basically, they need to keep every receipt, every transaction, every hour worked, every minute worked so they can record it, whether it's a paper timesheet or a clock that an employee punches.
They don't want a paper receipt. Spreadsheet.
Well, it's a lot of things that's out there electronically. You can have people that your employees can clock in on their phones now.
Yeah,
You can set up a tablet in your place of business for them to do that.
Right.
So it's a lot of electronic stuff that you don't necessarily have to have paper for.
right. But if they're starting out and they don't have the funds to do the electronic, they could still have paper.
Yes.
Okay,
But again, even with the bookkeeping and the accounting part, you may want to get a payroll company to help you with your payroll stuff too.
oh
Because
yeah, I
that
was gonna
you
say,
could
if
get,
there's just one employee, you wanna get it, you wanna start out,
yeah,
because that's a lot of hours to keep track of every week, and then when they meet with you once a month, they're gonna come in with all these spreadsheets and, yeah, no.
yeah,
Easier to press a button.
correct. And there are some free time collection systems out there, even for the one employee. I know
Mhm.
one is Connecting,
Okay,
um, and I've been working with one called When I Work. I'll put
Yeah.
those in the chat.
okay, that's good for the ones that are starting out. They can find a resource to help them. So when
Yeah.
they get employees, they can switch over to a regular payroll service.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, those I know. When I work, I think it's up to 10. Connecting, maybe they may both be up to 10 employees. You can
Yeah.
use the system for free. That's all I have for this week.
That was great, Ann. Thank you.
Hmm.
Thank you very much. Is there anything else from anyone?
Did we get Katie squared away? Camera,
do we get what?
Katie squared away?
I sent Katie this stuff. Katie, are you still on?
Yes, I did get the email. I was traveling, so I will be getting with the information I need this week.
Okay,
So
cool.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Katie.
You're welcome.
All right, everyone have a good rest of their week.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Bye.